Start it over. I'm gonna start you over, Mayor Ginther. There we go.
Welcome to the 2022 Police Officer Job Seminar. I'm Mayor Andy Ginther, and I'm so excited that you are here. Becoming a police officer is a powerful act of public service, and today you will learn what it takes to join the ranks of this important profession. But to thrive as an officer, you must also understand what makes Columbus thrive. As the 14th largest city in the country with a rapidly growing and diverse population, it is critical that we reflect those whom we serve in everything that we do, especially public safety. The Columbus Division of Police works not only to prevent crime and reduce violence, but also to strengthen trust, transparency, and accountability in our community. This is achieved through a wide variety of programming and reforms, but few actions are more profound or impactful than simply meeting people where they live and where they work and building bonds that endure. Becoming part of the Columbus Division of Police is more than a career, it is a calling. And there has never been a better time to serve than right now as we implement 21st century community policing practices across the division. Take this opportunity to see if law enforcement is the right fit for you. And remember, we're accepting applications through March 7th. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Mayor. All right. Next, we have a welcome message from City Council President Shannon Hardin.
Hey, it's Columbus City Council President Shannon Hardin. I'm excited to welcome you to the annual Police Recruitment Seminar. First of all, thank you for your interest in being a Columbus police officer. Now more than ever, we need young, thoughtful candidates like yourself to join our Columbus Division of Police. 2022 was the most violent we've seen in years. This is a hard time to be an officer, but that's why this is a profession worthy of your time. When folks are at their time of greatest need, they'll call you. And that's an amazing opportunity to serve this city. So lean in and let's make our community safer together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, next up, a word from our Director of Public Safety, Director Clark.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Police Officer Job Seminar. I'm Robert Clark, the Director of the Department of Public Safety. It's my honor to welcome you here today, but I also want to just pause and remind you to remember your why you are here, not just for a job, but for a calling. The profession of law enforcement requires those who are dedicated to service, not just protecting, but service. To service our communities, to service our residents, and ultimately to serve our profession. If you decide to join with us today and are able to make it through the process, we will welcome you into a sisterhood and brotherhood that will last a lifetime. Okay,
is it my turn?
And to be able to present yourself in a way that you represent honor, distinction, courage, and professionalism. That's what we're looking for here in the city of Columbus. All of those attributes, because at the end of the day, we recognize that this is not just a job, but that it is a calling to serve our community. We've had record numbers of crimes over the last couple of years. We recognize there's hard work before us, but we're going to need good and dedicated, professional, true, transparent, and communicative people who will engage with us, who are already on the job, to make our city safer, make our city better. We're depending on you to be able to join our team and help us to do all of those things. So enjoy your day, enjoy the experience, remember why you are here, and ultimately someday, when you earn the opportunity to be read your oath, you will remember your oath and remember your call to service. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Clark. And just a reminder, keep yourself on mute. Thank you. Up next, Chief Elaine Bryant.
Hello, I'm Elaine Bryant, Chief of Police, and I thank you for taking your valuable time today to learn about Columbus Police and the steps it takes to become a Columbus police officer. On behalf of the Columbus Division of Police, I want to welcome you to the 2022 Job Seminar. We offer more than a job. We offer a rewarding career with outstanding pay and benefits, paid training, leave time, promotional opportunities, and college tuition reimbursement. Our academy is staffed with professional state certified personnel, and they are dedicated to providing our future officers with high quality leadership and training. This includes physical fitness, learning laws, de-escalation, driving skills, and much, much more. Columbus Police, which serves the 15th largest city in the United States, is comprised of dedicated men and women who have been committed to the safety and protection of everyone who live, work, and play in Columbus. Policing today will challenge you and will change frequently throughout your career. What will never change is the opportunity to make a meaningful difference in the lives of others and the personal reward you will experience helping your community. I am excited that you are considering taking this opportunity to make a difference in your community, to serve those in need, and exemplify the mission to serve our community well. Thank you so much, and good luck on your journey to becoming the next member of CPD.
Thank you, Chief Bryant. So we've heard from a lot of good leaders today, and now we're going to get into the agenda. So first up, we're going to talk about our test prep from civil service. We're going to talk about phase 1 and 2 with Ms. Pam. We're going to talk about our SRA, which is the situational response assessment. Those are the 3 phases for the civil service exam. And then from there, we'll go to the Opata physical fitness and conditioning exam. We'll have a word from Human Resource Information Officer Analyst Jennifer Derringer. And just for informational purposes, our contract has changed a little bit. So the pay has actually gone up a bit. So just wanted to let you know. Then we'll have some information from our background section, followed by a sample stress test tutorial. We will then go to the Police Academy physical training with program with Officer Borchilla. We'll talk about firearms training with Sergeant Brooks. Then we'll hear some words of inspiration from Commander Ally, and then have a academy tour with Deputy Chief Knight. Finally, we will end, and then we will have a question and answer session with our recruiting unit after a short 10-minute break.
Hi, I'm Pamela Cole with the Columbus Civil Service Commission. I am here today to talk to you about the Commission's role in the selection process for police officers for the city of Columbus. So I know I can get a little bit long-winded, so I've created a few slides to keep me on track so far as timing-wise, so we can get through this expeditiously, right? So the civil service process. So we don't just pull these tests out of the air. We do a very thorough job analysis process. This is where we go out and we gather information via ride-along surveys, interviews with officers to find out what it is that a person needs to know, be able to do first day of the job. And in this case, it's first day of academy. So we don't expect you to know police stuff because they teach you that stuff in the academy, but there are some basic skills that you need to be successful in academy, and that's what we get at. And so we get this information, we bring it back to the office, and we be able to test. So far as the public is probably concerned, all that stuff is behind the scenes, but you've seen us with the application. Website.
My apologies about the volume. This is how it was recorded. So just gonna have to maybe turn up your volume.
So that is in a nutshell what we do. But what I want to talk about today is how to apply the 4 phases of the test, and then some resource materials that will better help you prepare for the exam. So how do you apply? We only accept applications online, www.columbus.gov/civil service. You go to the middle of the screen. It's going to be a box, job centers, current job openings. You want to click that, and that's going to bring up all of the jobs that we currently are taking applications for. But for today's purposes, we're talking about police officers. So we need you to scroll down until you see police officer. Once you click on police officer, it's going to bring up a spec sheet that gives you a lot of information about the job, examples of the job, qualifications, and such. And at the top right corner, there will be a button that says apply. And we need you to click that button to actually start the application process. So once you click that button, you're going to get a dialog box that's going to ask you to log into your account. And that's simply your email address and password. If you don't have an account with us, you can create an account using that create an account tab that's right above it. And it'll walk you through the process of putting in your email address and creating a password and all that good stuff. Either route you go, you're going to wind up at the application. The application is very simple. We look for the minimum qualifications to make sure you meet those. And then there's an abbreviated background questionnaire. So for the minimum qualifications, completion of 12th grade or GED, must be at least 20 years of age, have a valid driver's license, and be a U.S. citizen.
A quick note, for civil service to apply, minimum qualification no longer requires the possession of a valid motor operator's license until after application. So we encourage people to still have that driver's license, but that is no longer a minimum qualification.
You'll answer yes or no to those questions. It's simple. And then at the abbreviated background questionnaire, we do recognize that there are some things that can remove people from the process because we do have background standards. If we don't want to waste your time, so we're going to ask you some questions that we know will remove you. So instead of having you go through the process and then saying, I'm sorry, we can't proceed you further in the process, we're going to ask you those questions now just to save your time, okay? So once your application is approved, you've been scheduled to test, you're going to get some testing information. So that's the other portion of what I want to talk about today is the actual test and how to prepare for the test. It is a 4-phase test. We have multiple choice, the writing sample, an oral exam, what we call the Cope, and the physical test.
Another point of change is that it is a 3-phase test now. You still have multiple choice writing sample. Phase 3 is now called SRA, and then there is no phase 4.
So I'm going to reference our website a few times today, going back to that same www.columbus.gov/civil service. Underneath the current job tab, about 4 down, or the 5th one down, you'll see police exams. If you click that, that'll take you into the police series. And we're here for a police officer. So you click police officer, and it's going to bring up a page where if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll get test preparation resources. The main resource I'm going to reference is the study guide. And once you click that link, it's going to download the study guide to your computer, and you can choose to save it, or you can just go back to the website and pull it up again. It's up to you. But in the study guide, we go over the 4 phases extensively, giving examples of the information that's available of the test and going into each of the different phases in depth. So the first phase is multiple choice. We have a writing sample, we have Cope, and then the physical test. So it's a lot of information. So I highly encourage you to go to the website and peruse this study guide because we do not want you to come to the test unprepared. That's why we have this information. We want you to be successful. So the first phase is the multiple choice. It's a 4-part test. You have spelling, vocabulary, reading comprehension, and map reading on the test. Map reading is just as it is. There will be some maps. You'll have to look at those and answer some questions based on the map. Reading comprehension, same thing. You're going to read a passage and then answer some questions based on that passage. Spelling and vocabulary, here we're testing your knowledge of spelling and the meanings of different words. We give examples in the study guide under the spelling section, the vocabulary section, the reading and map reading, an example of some of those type questions that you'll see. What I really want to point out in the study guide is the spelling words that are located on page 8. There's an extensive list of spelling words, and we strongly recommend that you take the time to look at these words, to memorize the spelling of these words, the definition of these words, if that's something that you struggle with, especially if spelling and vocabulary is not your forte. So there's a huge list of them. I don't normally suggest printing out the whole study guide, but I do suggest printing out these words and getting started on a few a day until your test day arrives. Because these are the words that will be on the spelling and the vocabulary sections of the test. So none of this will come as a surprise to you. When you walk into that test, these are the only words that are going to be on that section. So please make use of this list and dwell into it extensively. So for phase 2, the writing sample, you'll be asked to complete an incident report because police officers, they do police reports. So for this portion, it's a video-based test where you will see an officer question a person or persons to gather information. You will be taking notes while that video is playing, and you will be able to use your notes when it comes time for you to do the incident report. The incident report consists of 2 sections. It's a form completion section, and there's a narrative section where you describe to us what was happening in the video. Both sections of the incident report will assess your information analysis and your writing skill. Again, we do not want anything on this test to be a surprise to you, so we have given you in the study guide some relevant information, especially with the information analysis portion. And the relevant information is important because it correlates to what we're looking for when we say information analysis. It correlates directly to the relevant information that we give you in the study guide. So there are, 7, 8 different categories that are contained in the study guide. So no matter what scenario you come to from test day, this should not be a surprise to you. You should have gone into that study guide, familiarize yourself with all of those things. You don't have to memorize them because we give them to you on test day. For example, here's relevant information for a missing person. It is in the study guide. We don't ask that you memorize this stuff, but we ask that you become familiar enough with it so that on test day, it's not strange to you. You already know that I know these are the pieces of information that they are looking for in my report. We also have on the website that corresponds to, in the study guide, there's going to be a passing writing sample and a failing writing sample that directly correlates to the practice video that we have on the website. So my suggestion is to go watch that video, write out the information, and then go and compare it to the examples that we have in the study guide. Because we tell you what we're looking for, but sometimes people need to see what is it that they're looking for in a passing, what is it that is going to fail me.
All right. So, and we will answer that question. It says, will our notes be judged or just our report writing skills? It'll just be the report. Whatever you put on the actual report, that is what you'll be graded on. Thank you for that question. All right, and this is the new section. This is the situational response assessment. You can access this from our website and also from the civil service website. But we wanted to give you an opportunity here. So if you have your pens and paper out, this will offer you a couple sample scenarios. I thought it was important to kind of give the people who came to the seminar an opportunity to see this. And then you can go and review and do it again at another time. But I thought it was important to share this new information with people who came to the seminar. Thank you.
City of Columbus police officer
Situational response assessment, sample scenarios video. This video consists of the following: disclaimer, about this video, video features, main video screen areas, how to use this video, sample scenario 1, sample scenario 2, and civil service contact information. The timestamps shown after each item can be used to fast forward to each section of the video. Disclaimer: this video is for demonstration purposes only. The persons portrayed in this video are not based on real people. No identification with actual Columbus Division of Police personnel is intended or should be inferred. All characters shown during this video are played by commissioned staff. Some of the police officer clothing that is depicted may not adhere to Columbus Division of Police policy. About this video. This video was developed by the City of Columbus Civil Service Commission. It was developed for phase 3 of the City of Columbus entry-level police officer exam. Phase 3 of the exam is called the Situational Response Assessment, or SRA for short. This video can be used by potential police officer exam candidates to become acquainted with some of the features of the SRA. Those features, such as video-based scenarios, narration, and countdown timers, can be seen in this video. This video can also be used to practice responding to video-based scenarios. Video features. This video like the SRA test video, contains guidance and instruction segments, scenario segments, and response period segments, plus narration, still images, countdown timers, and captions. These features and more are detailed in the SRA section of the prep guide. The prep guide is posted on the City of Columbus Civil Service Commission's Police Officer Exam webpage. This video, like the SRA test video, consists of 3 main areas of the video screen that you will want to be familiar with. There's the scenario area, which is where the situation or situations in each scenario will be shown. The countdown timer area is where the countdown timer will be shown. Last but not least is the caption area, which is where you can view any captions that may be provided during each scenario. How to use this video. If you plan on taking the City of Columbus Police Officer Exam, we recommend that you respond to this video's sample scenarios the very first time you watch them, and that you record yourself responding so you can use the recording to identify aspects of your performance that you may need to improve. To get the most out of this sample scenarios video, review the SRA section of the City of Columbus Police Officer Exam Prep Guide first before you begin watching this video's scenarios. While the basic steps you will need to take if you plan to use this video as recommended are provided on the next slide, much more detail is provided in the SRA section of the prep guide. To get the most out of this sample scenarios video, first, prepare. Review the SRA section of the prep guide. Set up a recording device. Be sure to test it too. Press record on your recording device. Second, perform. Continue this video to see the sample scenarios. Respond as prompted by the narrator. Third, process. Pause this video once the second scenario ends. Press stop on your recording device. Process your performance as stated in the prep guide. If you plan to record yourself responding as recommended, pause this video now, press record on your recording device. The first sample scenario begins next. Sample scenario 1. It is a Thursday at 5:15 p.m. You and your patrol partner, Officer Vano Boswell, are out on patrol.
Car 100, report to 1923 Vardo Drive, Benchmark Industries, employee in distress.
You and Officer Vano Boswell arrive at the business address. The supervisor, Joan Fisher, meets you outside of the office suite.
We are the Columbus Police. Did somebody request help?
Yes, I did. Thank you for coming. It's about one of my employees, Tracy Harper. She's refusing to leave the conference room. She was assaulted by her spouse last night. Now she's afraid to go home. She told me she wants a restraining order, but she hasn't had a chance to get one yet. I know she must be at her breaking point. But it's almost time to go home. She's not authorized to set the security system. We can't set it until everyone is out. Can you talk to her? Joan Fisher leads you to the conference room.
You talk to the employee. I'll finish up with Miss Fisher. We are with Columbus Police. Can my colleague come in to speak with you?
Yes, come in.
Officer Boswell exits to speak with the supervisor. You enter the room and approach Tracy Harper.
I don't know what to do. I'm afraid to go back home. My spouse will beat the living shit out of me again. My kids are already home from school. If I go home to get them, I won't be able to protect myself. She called you to kick me out, didn't she? I just want to stay here, where I know I'm safe. You're really going to make me leave?
You will have 1 minute to respond to Tracy Harper. Respond now. Stop. This concludes sample scenario 1. Sample scenario 2 is next. Sample scenario 2. It is Friday at 4:30 p.m. You and your patrol partner, Officer Levi Navarro, have just returned to the precinct after an especially stressful day. Now you're wrapping up before the weekend. After completing some paperwork, you head toward the break room. On the way, you notice Officer Navarro sitting in a room off to the side. You have known Officer Navarro since you both attended the academy 5 years ago. You decide to check in to see how he's doing since it has been a very grueling day.
Days like today aren't easy, but they're not even the hardest part of my week. At least it's a distraction and something I can control. Once my shift is over and I have to go home, there's just so much going on. My daughter's leukemia is getting worse every day. And my wife just asked me for a divorce. I can't take it anymore. This isn't how it was supposed to turn out. What do I even do?
You will have 1 minute to respond to Officer Levi Navarro. Respond now. Stop. This concludes this video. If you recorded yourself responding to the sample scenarios, you can stop the recording at this time. Thank you for watching this video. If you are planning on taking the exam, we wish you the very best on your journey to becoming a Columbus police officer. If you have questions about this video, the SRA, or any other phase of the police officer examination, please contact Commission staff at 614-645-0800 or by email at policefiretesting@columbus.gov.
All right, so now we are on to the Opata physical fitness and conditioning. As I said before, we did have a phase 4 for the civil service exam, but after our audit, it was determined that that part was kind of redundant. And so we have moved directly to the Opata physical fitness and conditioning. There is a question in here. Is there a difference between the Cope and the SRA? There is a difference. Hopefully you were able to see it. If you've taken the Cope before, we just gave that example of the SRA. We can dive into that a little more later. Thank you for the question.
Welcome to the Ohio Police Officer Training Commission Physical Fitness Instructional Video. We will be demonstrating the proper techniques necessary to pass the physical fitness assessment. You'll be tested in 3 categories: a sit-up, a push-up, and a 1.5-mile run. Let's take a closer look at each of them. This is a 1-minute sit-up test, which measures muscular endurance of the abdominal. The test will count the number of correct sit-ups completed in the 1-minute duration. The positioning for the sit-up test is as follows. To start the test, you'll be lying on the ground with your knees bent, feet flat on the ground, and hands interlaced and held behind your head. The neck should remain in a neutral position without pulling or yanking on the head with the hands. Partner will hold your feet down firmly with only his or her hand. The up position is obtained when the elbows touch the knees. The down position is obtained when the shoulder blades touch the floor. If it is necessary to rest during the test, you may only do so in the up position while maintaining the hands behind the head. Breathing during the test should remain as normal as possible by exhaling on the way up and inhaling on the way down. At no time should you hold your breath. The correct sit-up will be counted each time the up position is met while maintaining proper form. Correct sit-up will be indicated by a counter verbally announcing the number completed, or if not counted, then the counter will indicate why counted. If at any time the form described above is broken by raising the buttock, unlocking the hands, not going all the way up or down, pulling on the head, or any other item outside of the form described previously, then the correct sit-up will not be counted. If the continual incorrect form is deemed unsafe to your health, then the test may be terminated. This is the 1-minute push-up test to measure muscular endurance of the upper body. The test will count the number of correct push-ups completed in 1 minute. The positioning for the full push-up test is as follows. Prior to beginning the test, you will lie on the ground face down, feet together, hands slightly wider than shoulder width apart, with fingers pointed forward. Body. Welcome to the Ohio Police Officer Training Commission Physical Fitness Instructional Video. Muscular endurance of the upper body. The test will count the number of correct push-ups completed in 1 minute. The positioning for the full push-up test is as follows. Prior to beginning the test, you will lie on the ground face down, feet together, hands slightly wider than shoulder width apart, and fingers pointed forward. The body will form a straight line from the ankles to the knees, hips, back, and shoulders to the head. To start the test, you'll be in the up plank position where the body forms a straight line from the head to the ankles with the head in a neutral position. Arms at soft extension and feet together. A test administrator or partner will place his or her fist under your chest in the middle of the sternum to verify the down position has been obtained. If testing a female, a 3-inch sponge will be used in place of the fist. You will lower your body towards the floor until the upper arms are in a straight line with your shoulders. If it is necessary to rest during the test, you may only rest in the up position while maintaining the up plank position where the body forms a straight line from the head to the ankles with the head in a neutral position, arms at soft extension, and feet together. Breathing during the test should remain as normal as possible while exhaling on the way up and inhaling on the way down. At no time should you hold your breath. The correct push-up will be counted each time the plank body is lowered from the up position to the down position, where the chest touches the fist or sponge and returns to the up position where the arms at soft extension while maintaining proper form. Correct push-ups will be indicated by a counter announcing the number completed, or they will indicate why not counted. If at any time the form described above is broken by raising or hiking the buttocks, sagging the midsection of the body, arching the back, lifting a hand or foot, not going all the way down or up, lifting the neck or any other item outside the form described previously, then the incorrect push-up will not be counted. If the continual incorrect form is deemed unsafe to your health, then the test may be terminated. This is the 1.5 mile run test, which provides an estimate of cardiorespiratory fitness level. The test will measure the time required to run 1.5 miles. Prior to the test, you should warm up for your normal training regimen. To start the test, you will gather at the start line. At the signal, begin to run as fast as possible until you reach the finish line or complete the correct number of laps. During the test, pacing devices, external assistance, or devices that impair individuals from hearing instructions will be prohibited. Lap times will be provided during the test of running on a track. As you cross the finish line, your time will be recorded in minutes and seconds. The finish time will be used to estimate your cardiorespiratory fitness level. After finishing the test, continue to walk slowly for 5 minutes to cool down. Do not stop moving. If at any time participants run astray off the described course or utilize an external assistance or participate in procedures not listed, then the test will be terminated and results will not be recorded. If you feel any distress during or after the test, inform a test administrator and do not continue. In order to pass the final assessment, you must achieve a passing score in each of the 3 events. Through determination and training, you can achieve these goals.
All right, next up, we'll hear from our human resources analyst, Jennifer Derringer. And as I said before, some of our wages have changed due to our new contract. So the wages are actually significantly higher than what is reflected here. This is just for informational purposes.
On the City of Columbus's website, columbus.gov, under the Department of Human Resources, Labor Relations section. The City of Columbus offers a competitive salary for police officers. The current pay structure is a step progression where an officer progresses to the next step after a set length of time. Pay increases with each successive step. A newly hired officer starts at step A, which is currently set at $28.34 per hour. That equates to a base salary of just under $59,000 annually. Following 12 months of continuous service, officers will progress to each successive step up each year until step E is achieved. After 9 years of service, officers will progress to step F, which is currently set at $44.68 per hour, an annual salary of $92,934.40. Additionally, for those who are assigned to a second or third shift assignment, there is an additional $1.25 per hour shift differential for work hours. And if you have not already been told by others, please let me share that you can expect to be assigned to either a second or third shift assignment for at least 10 years based upon our seniority system. Okay, so after money, most people want to know how much time off they can get. Officers receive 11 paid holidays per year. When the holiday day is worked, the time rolls into a leave bank and is able to be used at a later date upon approval.
So I just wanted to reflect here again, the wages have changed. So A step, you start at 65. As of December 2022, it'll be 67. And then when you get to that F step, it's 103 this coming December. Also, far as holidays, you will now receive 13 paid holidays per year.
Keep in mind that holidays are not guaranteed days off for officers. These holidays are awarded for time off based upon bidding and seniority. So oftentimes, this means that families may celebrate a major holiday on a day other than the actual holiday day. Vacation time is accrued per pay period and is based upon an employee's years of service. The longer the length of service, the more vacation is accrued. Vacation time is not able to be used until a new officer has accrued 13 pay periods of earned vacation credit. Pay periods are 2 weeks. The current accrual rate per pay period for officers with less than 3 years of service is 3.693 hours per pay period, for a total of 96 hours per year. That equates to approximately 12 days. Between 3 and 6 years of service, the accrual rate increases to 5.692 hours per pay period. Increase in accruals occur at 6, 14, and 20 years of service, maxing out at an accrual rate of 9.692 hours per pay period, or 252 hours, or approximately 31 days per year, for those who have over 20 years of service. Vacation time off is also awarded based upon seniority within a unit. Sick leave is front-loaded for an amount of 41.55 hours at the time of hire. And then after completion of 9 pay periods, additional sick leave is accrued at the rate of 616 hours per pay period. For those of you who have military commitments, the city provides 22 days of paid military leave for applicable leave reasons. Now I want to touch on the insurance plan that is offered by the city for FOP covered employees. The city maintains what is referred to as the bundled plan. This means that medical, prescription, dental, vision, and life coverages are bundled together into one monthly premium for all coverages. This means that employees do not have the option of waiving dental or vision or only selecting dental or vision coverages. It is an all or nothing selection. Medical, prescription, and life coverage is effective first of the month following date of hire for eligible employees. Dental and vision are effective the first of the month following the 90th day of hire. The FOP city plan currently has two rates, a single rate and a family rate. This means that it does not matter how many covered dependents you enroll in your plan. The family rate will stay the same regardless if it is 1 or 10 dependents. The current monthly rates, split between two equal payments each month, are $122.79 for single coverage, meaning the employee only, and $439.25 for family coverage, meaning the employee plus one or more dependents. Additionally, there is a $25 monthly surcharge for tobacco users. The form of tobacco does not impact the charge. Additional benefits and incentives that are provided within the contract currently include an annual service credit, which is a monetary bonus that gradually increases annually beginning in the 6th year of service until the 33rd year of service. A clothing and equipment allowance is provided along with the actual uniform and equipment necessary to do the job of a police officer. Tuition reimbursement for classes approved and taken during employment are available after 1 year of continuous service. A physical fitness test incentive is also provided. Please keep in mind that the PFT is required to be completed annually, but the incentives and recognition programs are based upon performance and can include up to 24 additional vacation hours and up to a $900 lump sum payment. They also provide sick leave incentive, which provides up to 16 additional vacation hours if a minimum number of sick leave hours are used during the previous year. And then, of course, there are also some special duty and special events opportunities that are provided through the Division Special Duty and Special Events Office. After all the pay, insurance, and time off, the next question is, how will I learn my new job? Columbus prides itself on its police training academy, and in fact, many outside agencies pay to send their new officers to our academy. The academy is currently set at 31 weeks and is free to attend for Columbus police officers. Columbus officers earn their full salary from their first day at the academy. It is not a residential academy. You get to go home and then, of course, study afterwards or crash from exhaustion. Both are likely to happen at some point during your academy experience. But training doesn't stop for Columbus officers after they graduate the academy. Next comes field training. Then, for the rest of your career, annual in-service training sessions are held to ensure ongoing development and skill refreshments. So after you've gone through the civil service testing, background and hiring processes, graduate the academy, complete field training, and have been on the division for several years, you may start thinking, what's next? So let's spend a moment to discuss career advancement. Not every officer wants or even desires to hold a leadership role, but but does appreciate a little variety in their job assignments. Remember earlier, I mentioned that Columbus is seniority based, and seniority comes into consideration for holiday and vacation approvals. It is also used for the awarding and assigning of
Have a little technical difficulty. I'm not sure why it froze, but we're gonna try to get back on track here. All right. Well, if you just stand by for a second as we try to fix this issue. Hey, so as we wait for the PowerPoint to get back, if you have any questions, please keep sending those to the chat, and we have officers that are answering them for you as we move along. Thank you for your patience. All right, looks like we're back. We're gonna jump right into background investigations.
Hi, I'm Richard Blunt, Public Safety Manager of the Background Investigation Section, Columbus Division of Police. Today, I will be talking to you about the Background Investigation Section's role in the hiring process for the position of police officer in the city of Columbus. These are the areas of interest or the areas that we will be investigating during the course of your background investigation. In the beginning of the background process, you will be sent a personal history statement, questionnaire, and these are the areas that you will be asked to complete. The process itself begins when you receive an email from the Peace Officer Background Investigation Tracking System, or POBIS. It will not be from the Columbus Division of Police. It will be from POBIS. Within that, you will be asked to complete a personal history statement, or PHS. You have approximately 10 days to complete that questionnaire and submit it. Once submitted, your background investigator will review it to see if you meet any of the background removal standards for civil service. If you do not, he or she will begin conducting background checks and sending out mailers or questionnaires to your personal references that will be listed in the personal history statement, your current and previous employers, as well as other law enforcement agencies. You will then be scheduled to come in and meet with your background investigator for a pre-interview. He or she will also take you down to the ID unit to get photographed and have your fingerprints taken. You will then be taken to Polygraph Unit for a polygraph examination. This is all done in the same appointment. Upon completion of your polygraph, a representative from the Civil Service Commission will come over and review your file to make sure that you meet the minimum qualifications for the position of police officer, as well as to make sure you don't meet any background removal standards. At any of these phases, you could be recommended for removal. This is merely a recommendation based on the belief that you meet a background removal standard. The Civil Service has the final decision as to whether that is sustained. If you continue on in the process, again, these are the areas that your background investigator will be looking at. Once complete, he or she will call you in for a final interview to review your PHS, your polygraph examination, and to answer any questions that you may have. You will then be scheduled for a personnel evaluation board or oral board. This oral board consists of 3 members of the division, a police officer, a sworn supervisor, and a public or correction, a human resource professional. That panel will then rate you and send your package through the police chain of command, who will also rate you. Then it is sent over to the Director of Public Safety, who then decides whether he wants to extend a conditional offer of employment. If he does not, then you are out of the process and there is no appeal. If he does, you must first complete and pass the Opata physical fitness test. If you happen to fail the first test, there is an opportunity to retest. One time. If you fail that retest, then you're out of the process. If you pass it and the director has selected you, you will then be given a conditional offer of employment. Part of this conditional offer may include another polygraph examination. It does include and is conditional based upon your successful completion of a medical examination, a stress test, and a psychological evaluation. Should you fail the stress test the first time, you do have an opportunity to retake it at your own expense one time. If you pass all of these, you will be extended a conditional offer of employment, or correction, a final offer of employment, and appointed to the academy class. During this slide, I normally talk about some of the background removal standards. The background removal standards can be found on the Civil Service website, and I recommend that you review them. Again, you will be required to complete a polygraph examination. This is the division's tattoo policy. You are not allowed to have any tattoos visible on them.
So I just wanted to pause here. This policy has changed. There's still, you still are prohibited from having it on your head, neck, and hands, but visible tattoos are allowed. They are allowed. But it does maintain the tattoos depicting obscene, gang-related, extremist, or otherwise offensive images, which may bring the division into disrepute. Those are still prohibited as well.
The head, neck, or hands. Tattoos depicting obscene, gang-related, extremist, racist, or otherwise offensive images are also prohibited, visible or non-visible. During your pre-interview, when I mentioned that your photograph will be taken, they will also photograph any exposed tattoos. Body mutilations and certain piercings other than your ears are not permitted. These are some important documents that I would recommend that you start collecting and will be required to bring in for your pre-interview. The reason I recommend you do these in advance is because things like your transcripts sometimes can take a while to be sent. So it's good to get a head start on gathering these documents. Of note, these documents are not required to submit your personal history statement. You will be required to bring them in for your pre-interview, but they are not required to submit your personal history statement. This concludes the background investigation section briefing. If you have any additional questions, please give us a call at 614-645-4808.
Again, that number is 614-645-4808. And they can provide a lot of answers for your questions as you start submitting your background information. I want to thank them for that presentation.
Thank you and good luck.
All right, so here we're gonna show you a little video of what our sample stress test tutorial looks like. Just take a look. And I believe this video may be low again, so you may have to turn up your volume. We apologize for that, but some of the recording spaces are different. And so just if you could just accommodate us.
I am an exercise physiologist who works for Conditional Health. We are the professionals who will be doing your rehire stress testing.
treadmill, you will be wearing this mask. What this mask is actually measuring is your VO2 or volume of oxygen consumption. Okay, so based upon your age and your gender, you will be required to achieve a certain volume of oxygen consumption. So the first thing we do when we come in for your stress test is we prep you up for a 12-week EKG. So when you are coming in, you will have a 12-week EKG done on you. So what that entails is we're going to start by cleaning your skin with some alcohol. Now, if you have more chest hair, we will have to shave you, or you can trim up before you come. It's at your discretion. So next, we will put a skin wrap on your skin. So this just kind of helps those EKG patches stick. Next, we attach 10 EKG patches. Once the patches are placed, then we will walk you over to our EKG monitoring system. So the reason why we hook you up to an EKG or to the EKG is so that we can look for any EKG arrhythmias or abnormalities that might cause concern for you to complete the stress test. So once you are hooked up to your EKG, we will let you have a seat, and then we will start with some resting numbers. So I'm going to start by giving his resting blood pressure to make sure that's within normal limits. We have your resting blood pressure. We will print out a resting EKG. Once the rest of the EKG has printed out, then we'll go ahead and place the mask on you. So we'll hold the position of your mouth and nose, if that's most comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and tighten it down around your face. Now with the mask, we want a good feeling. We don't want to pinch off the nose or mouth. You just have to let us know if it's too tight. Once the mask is placed on you, we will have you go through a brief breathing test. This is just lung volumes into our system to make your volume of oxygen consumed numbers more accurate. All right, so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you take a couple normal breaths, and then I'm going to have you fill up your lungs with as much air as you can, as fast as you can. Once your lungs are completely full, I'm going to have you exhale all that air out hard and fast as you can until I tell you to stop. Okay, so go ahead and take a couple more breaths for me. All right, so whenever you're ready, big, quick, deep breath in. Exhale hard and fast. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Relax, normally. Perfect. All right, a couple more normal breaths, and we'll do that one more time, just so that we can get a good output too. So whenever you're ready, big, quick, deep breath in. Exhale hard and fast. Going, relax, where you want. Once the breathing test is complete, then we will have you sitting for 40 seconds, just analyzing your normal breathing patterns before we get you up and going on the treadmill. This will be the only portion of the test that we're going to ask you not to talk. So then once he's 40 seconds.
Looks like we might have a frozen situation again. Gotta love technology, right? If you can bear with us again, we'll try to get it up and running as soon as possible. I'm not exactly sure what the hiccup is, but we all have internet and we know how it goes sometimes. So I appreciate your patience. If you can just bear with us. Thank you.
Once now the 40 seconds are complete, I will go ahead and have you stand up and have you straddle the sides of the treadmill belt. All right, next I will have you hold your electrodes right against your stomach, and I will secure them with a belt that will be around your waist. Again, we want this to be snug, but we obviously will not have it be cutting off any of your breathing or affecting your breathing wall. Once the wires are secure, I will have you step down onto the treadmill. Now, do you have any questions before we get started? All right, so we're going to go ahead and start your test in 3, 2, and 1. Now, throughout the entire test, I will be monitoring your EKG as well as your VO2 or your volume of oxygen consumed. Now, the goal of this test is for you to go as long as possible, trying to reach the highest VO2 as possible. Now, halfway through these stages, we will be taking blood pressure just to make sure that you're still within normal limits. So you have 20 seconds left in this stage, and then you'll get another increase. This next stage is going to be a little bit higher, a little bit faster, but should still be a comfortable walk. Okay, very great. Often throughout the test, we will be asking you how hard you feel like you're working. Your answer is based on a 6 to 20 scale called the Warren Rating Scale. Can you give me a number of how hard you feel like you're working right now? 11. Here comes your next increase. once you finish your stress test, we will get immediately get a blood pressure. We'll remove the mask. Keep walking for me. So I'll have you walking for 2 minutes, and then once it's 2 minutes up, we'll have you straddle the sides of the treadmill belt. And then we will slow the treadmill belt down. And then once it comes to a complete stop, we'll have you step off to the side. Have a seat in a chair. And this is where we will continue to monitor your heart rate. And we will get another blood pressure and make sure that comes back down towards normal. So once the 5 minutes are up and your blood pressure has come back down to normal and so is your heart rate, we will go ahead and end the test and get you unstuck from the Ekg monitoring system. At the completion of your stress test, the exercise physiologist will complete all of your paperwork and then we'll report your results to the city. And then the city will contact you within 2 weeks about your status of your appointment.
All right, excellent. All right, so we are on to Police Academy Physical Fitness with Officer Remus Borchilla. Officer Borchilla is an instructor in the academy, and he will be very heavily involved with your physical fitness. We asked him to put this together so that everybody here can kind of get an example of what they can do to get themselves physically prepared. This is just a sample, but you definitely want to pay attention, and especially with him being one of your instructors. So.
Good morning. Welcome to the Columbus Police Training Academy. My name is Officer Borchilla. I'm one of the basic instructors here at the academy. Myself, along with about 8 or 9 other instructors, we will help you get into this training and get you through the training and get you to come out after 29 weeks of training and be able to serve the community in the capacity of a police officer. Part of that training, among other things like defensive tactics and a lot of legal work and things like that, part of the training is the physical fitness training. The state of Ohio requires some minimum standards before you enter the academy. Now, before you even enter the academy, you'll be doing a fitness standard for a Columbus Civil Service exam. And that requires some push-ups, sit-ups, and a 300-meter run. And that normally is done here. But when you actually, after you're given an offer to start the academy, we will then test you to do the Opata minimum standards.
Quick disclaimer again, we do not have the phase 4 testing, so you won't have to do that 300-meter dash, but you will have to do that pre-Opata exam that he's speaking about.
And what Opata, which is the Ohio Police Officers Training Academy, they require you to be able to come in here and do the 15 percentile standard to start the academy. After some testing and some things that they looked at, they determined that, hey, if somebody comes into the academy at the 15 percentile standard, instructors, based upon the length of the academy, will be able to get that person up to the 50th percentile standard by the time they graduate about 29 weeks later. So, for example, if you're a male in your 20s, and at the beginning of the academy, you'll be required to do 32 sit-ups in 1 minute, 19 push-ups in 1 minute, and be able to run the 1.5 miles in 14:34. At the end of the academy, that same male in the 20s should be able to do 40 sit-ups in a minute, 33 push-ups in a minute, and be able to run that 1.5 miles in 11:58. So as you can see, especially on the runs, we're talking about a good 2.5 minute increase in your ability to run faster. But I have no doubt that once you get into this academy, based upon all the hours that we spend doing physical training and all the hours that we spend in defensive tactics training, all that combined will allow you to become a much better physically fit officer for you to be able to hit the streets and serve the community. There are a couple of things I want to make sure that you understand as far as you get prepared for the academy. Don't just run on a treadmill, right? Get off the treadmill, run outside. If you're gonna start an academy in a June class, which we normally do June or July, you wanna get out there in the heat and run in that heat, because it's a little different when you're running out there, 90-degree weather and the humidity's way up there, versus running on the treadmill in a 65-degree cool room, right? Same thing applies to if you start the academy in December, right? It's cold outside. It's a whole lot different. Your chest doesn't quite get the same breathing ability when the air is very cold and restricted. So run outside. That's the one thing I want to say as far as running. Run in the weather that you're going to be running at the academy, because guess what? While we do some things here in the gymnasium, most of our stuff is going to be done outside. We're going to go outside as much as we can. We're going to run as a group in formation. We're also going to run, individually. We're going to do what we call individual workouts, and we expect you to push yourself and find your limits and realize, hey, what's the best that I can be when we're in the academy? The other thing I want to make sure you understand is as far as push-ups and sit-ups. Right, we expect you, while we might not do much more than 15 to 20 push-ups at a time, we expect you to be able to do that over and over and over. So just doing 15 push-ups and maybe think you're 20 push-ups and think you're done, please don't be mistaken. We're going to expect you to do a lot more than that. So if you're watching TV, or if you're doing something and you get a little bit of a break, get down there and do some push-ups, right? And then get down there and do some sit-ups. If you can, as you're doing sit-ups, you might start out with putting your feet underneath the couch and to help you get up for those sit-ups. But most of the sit-ups we're going to do here at the academy are going to be without anybody holding your feet. So please practice without somebody holding your feet, but we're going to be asking you to do a lot of sit-ups. And so, again, we do a lot of sit-ups, push-ups, and running because that's what the state requires for us to test you when you get out of this academy. But make no mistake, that's not only the training that we do here at this academy. We combine it with a lot of other things, like circuit training. And of course, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. We have a little circuit set up. Certainly, we have defensive tactics training that we do that we're pushing in other ways. We have an obstacle course outside that will show you jumping over walls and being able to jump the windows and carrying a dummy and things like that. So there's lots of things that we expect you to do. Tire tosses, rope pulls. We have pushing the big pieces of wood, and I mean anything and everything that you can imagine, we've got set up here for you to be able to kind of get the feel of, hey, oh gosh, I'm only doing push-up, sit-ups, and running. That's not it. We do a lot of other things to try to make this a little more fun. We have a lot of competition that we build into these events. We have tug of war. We have certainly other team competitions, carrying a partner and things like that, just to try to make some things fun. But ultimately, we're trying to get you ready for the street. And not only that, but we're also trying to get you to understand that here in the academy is your start for your physical fitness to last throughout your career, right? If you're able to, we're going to push you as much as we can and to reach your limits. And so that way, when you get to the street, you have to get involved in the foot chase or jumping fences or this, whatever it's going to take. You know what your limits are, and you can push yourself to the limit without doubting yourself. All right, and hopefully, as you train here at the academy and you get out of this academy, you will then keep in mind, hey, listen, physical fitness is important for me. It's important for me to be able to serve the citizens of Columbus the right way. I have to stay in shape. I have to eat right. And these things all come together in making sure that as a police officer, I'm going to have a nice, long-lasting career. All right, so again, welcome to our physical fitness portion of this broadcast. I want to make sure I want to cover a couple of the things that we do when we set up a circuit, let's say inside the academy. Let's say maybe it's way too hot out there, maybe it's thunderstorming and things like that. We can't really go outside and do something. We can do something inside the gymnasium that we have. We have a setup here with about 6 or 7 different stations on the circuit that we would have recruits at each station set up, and then we would time and we do what we call the 20 on, 10 off. For 20 seconds, you do as fast as you can that exercise, and then you get a 10-second break to move on to the next station. For example, station number 1, there's several different things we could do here. We would have, for example, do the burpees. Burpees is a full body exercise. Right, all the way to push up and jump back up. Very good. Thank you very much. And you can do that for 20 seconds, as fast as you can. Or we can have it in reverse fold, right? We have the arm straight out, and we can roll that weight from that wooden bar all the way up. And then as soon as you get up to the top, you roll it all the way down. Works on getting the arms strong, the shoulders, and the grip strength. Certainly, that's something that we want to make sure we're good at, right? But the other exercise we can do is maybe jump rope. Certainly, do two leg, one leg, whatever you want, whatever you can. This again.
All right, I think we're gonna try to move
Just
along.
trying to build a little bit of stamina and just giving some type of a different exercise. All right, so we showed you what we would do with station number 1. Now, station number 2 is just a sprint and backpedal station. The recruits are basically expected to sprint forward as fast as they can and then backpedal back. And we're going to do that for 20 seconds. And then we get a 10-second break to move to the next station. So this is what it looks like. Go ahead, guys. Again, driving those arms forward and driving the arms back to go back and forth, trying to get that stamina, get the legs built up and get some power in the legs. Thank you. All right, so now we're on station number 3 of the circuit. This is what we call the box jumps. Certainly there's different ways you can do it, but on this one, we decided to do the side step-ups. Go ahead, guys. Right, they're going basically back and forth from the left to the right side, trying to get those knees up going, basically trying to build the leg strength to get you to be able to pass that Opata test. Okay, so now we moved over to the next station. In this station, we consider this the sit-up or the push-up station, depending on what we decide to do. Maybe we need to work more on sit-ups, maybe push-ups. So that's what we determine. As you can see here, basically, there's nobody holding her feet. She's going to come up. Go ahead. Right? Come up. We'll keep the feet on the ground. Come up with the elbows touching the knees, and you keep doing it for about 20 seconds. Thank you. Or if you're doing the push-ups, we're going to have you start out in that plank position and then push-ups as many as you can, as fast as you can, but in a good form in 20 seconds straight. It's really not that hard, but certainly it's working towards getting those push-ups number 5. Thank you. All right, so the last couple stations that we have set up in the circuit, we have what's called the ropes, which is working out the arms and shoulders. And then we also have the squats. So while that over there, or also is doing the arms and working on getting those strong, she's now going to work on her balance and make sure she's able to keep her balance and do squats as he's doing the ropes. Great. So we've added one last station here just to show you that certainly we can accommodate this workout to whatever we want. Basically, this station is just the wall ball squats. Go ahead, guys. As they, we're doing the squat, working on the legs, and then as they come up, we throw that ball up as high as they can, and they catch it, hand-eye coordination, core strength, things like that. So there's, again, lots of things that we can do and to keep it fresh, keep it interesting, and keep that physical fitness going. All right, again, thank you for watching this video. Thank you to the instructors for helping me out in setting this up. But I want to make sure you understand that we're looking forward for you to come into this academy, showing us what you can do, showing us that if you want to go out there and serve the citizens of Columbus, and be prepared, right? Mostly be prepared when you come into this academy. Make yourself proud, make us proud, make your family proud, make the citizens of Columbus proud. Be prepared, work hard, and you come out here a much better person by becoming a young police officer for the city of Columbus.
Thank you so much, Officer Burchilla. All right, we got a quick video featuring firearms training with Sergeant Brooks and one of our cadets.
Hello, I'm Sergeant Rich Brooks from the Columbus Division of Police Ordnance Unit. When you come to the Ordnance Unit, you will come here for 4 weeks, and you're responsible for passing several different state-regulated, city-regulated courses. You'll fire with your handgun and the division-issued shotgun. This is, let me show you what we're strong in right here. bullet, the casing, primer, and the ridge, right? See how that feeds right down there? See how it says that little 9? For 9. So what you want to do is start back here with the back of the casing, the primer end, push down on the gray follower, and let that bullet slide in there as you're pushing, slide all the way to the back. And as you go, you can use this thumb on the next bullet to push down on there and slide in. So we're showing Cadet Finley how to load a magazine properly and to make an example of the dexterity, strength that is needed, and the complexity of trying to get these 9mm rounds into the magazine correctly. We wish you good luck in the application process. Give it your best shot.
All right, thank you to Sergeant Brooks and Cadet Finley. I want to give you guys some words of inspiration from Commander Ally.
What makes a good police officer? Well, I've always been told that it takes a good person to be a good police officer. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for good people who are willing to put in the work, learn the job, and who want to serve and who want to do it well. So if there are people out there who want to be police officers all their life, and they truly believe that they are willing to put in the work that it takes, because it's not easy. It's not easy to be a police officer, and I believe that anything worth having isn't easy to attain. I invite you, I challenge you to join us. For those of you who maybe never thought or considered a career in law enforcement or in service, I also challenge you, because we need not only those who have always looked into law enforcement, but maybe people who weren't exactly sure what they wanted to be involved in, but knew that they had a calling.
Thank you, Commander Ally. All right, and wrapping up, we have a tour of our police academy with Deputy Chief Knight.
I'm Deputy Chief Jennifer Knight of the Columbus Division of Police, and welcome to the Columbus Police Academy. This building was built in 2004, and it is a regional training facility. Today, we're going to take you on a tour of the Columbus Police Academy, and you'll get to meet some of the people that work here. This is Sergeant Laura Suber. She is actually the recruit training sergeant at the Police Academy. Sergeant Suber, can you tell me a little bit about your job?
Yes, my position here, I oversee the recruit training staff, which there's about 8 officers assigned to recruit training. And our job is to oversee the training, the 31 weeks of training here at the CPD Academy. And what that training includes is approximately 737 state hours and 500 city hours.
What kind of person makes a great recruit?
A lot of people are going to tell you a good student, prior experience, maybe if you're family members. But what I have found, honestly, the person decides if they're going to be a good recruit. This comes down to the things you can't test. This comes down to your dedication, your focus, your commitment, your passion for this type of career, this type of service.
This is Sergeant Cheatham with the Defensive Tactics Unit. Sergeant Cheatham, can you tell us a little bit about what kind of training officers receive?
Well, they receive boxing, ground fighting, which is wrestling, active shooter training, taser training. We do a lot of scenario-based training. We make it as intensive as we can here so it doesn't seem as intense out there. Every officer, all the way to the chief of police, comes to us for 1 8-hour day of training. But we have several officers that will come to us voluntarily through the year and want to work on something, want to work on a boxing skill or a ground fighting skill or building searches or something like that. And so we were constantly working with officers throughout the year to better their skills.
Fantastic. And this is the mat room. Is this where you train a lot of the time?
Yes, we do all of our ground fighting in here. All of our prisoner control is done in here. And it's just a safer environment because we're going down to the floor a lot.
Officer Missy Paganelli of the Advanced Training Unit. Officer Paganelli, can you tell us a little bit about what the Advanced Training Unit does for the Division of Police?
Yeah, so once a recruit graduates from the police academy and gets sworn in as a police officer, their training is far from over. Throughout their entire career, they'll continue to come out and see us to get that training until the day that they retire. We host several instructors, both from other police academies and also other institutions of learning. They specialize in a variety of topics, everywhere from behavioral analysis to human trafficking to interrogation and investigation.
So what you're saying is Columbus police officers are always receiving training every single year.
Absolutely. Ask any one of us and they will say, yes, indeed, they receive a lot of training.
This is Officer Kiera Husband. She's actually one of the officers that is assigned to the cadet unit. Officer Husband, can you tell me, what is a police cadet?
A police cadet is a person that has identified a genuine interest in law enforcement and working within the division. They are typically around the ages, start at 18 until about adolescence. However, there is no age cap. It is a paid internship. They are student interns for the division for a program that can last up to 3 years. Our goal is to inform them and train them in law enforcement culture through practical applications, and then also preparation for the City of Columbus Civil Service exam in hopes of them becoming future employees for the division and making it into the academy.
So once they've accomplished their training, their 16 weeks of training that they have, what kind of positions in the division do they fill?
They go out through the division in various aspects of, mostly in civilian positions. They also can ride in a patrol aspect where they ride with the officer every day. They help in our property room. They've helped in training. They have assisted in records retention. They have assisted in our, we call it 580, where they go and they actually answer and field calls and take reports. They get a lot of training in report writing, and starting with our patrol SOP and learning the laws and how to police through those laws.
Welcome to the Columbus Police Auditorium, where we hold our ceremonies, our promotion ceremonies, and more importantly, our graduation ceremonies. This is where recruits start their career, and this is where we will end today. Thank you very much for spending the time to visit the Columbus Police Academy, where integrity, compassion, accountability, respect, and excellence are our guiding principles.
Awesome. Thank you, Chief Knight. We have a couple of bonus videos with our different units. This one is of the community liaison officers that spend a lot of time in the community. We got one more bonus video is our intact and helicopter units.
Let me know if you want to stay on.
Down here saying he did not leave with a walker.
Or is that? Let's check that. Dude, that's him.
I'm starting to wonder if that's not somebody laying there. I can't tell.
It sure looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah,
There's somebody laying there.
Yep, that's him. He's waving.
First and only African American police examiner with the FAA. All that was given to me from the Division of Police, and it's been a great experience here.
There's 7 or 8 officers here. Everybody needs to run it in.
Just wanted to show a little glimpse into some of those specialty units. So we are here at our conclusion. Just really want to thank you all for attending. If you haven't applied already, please make sure you go do. You can apply today at columbus.gov/jobs-CPD-CFD. We have added also our phone number, 614-645-4642. And you can also email us at jobs@columbuspolice.org. We will be taking a short break here, about 10 minutes, and then we will be right back so we can, it actually will be 5 minutes because we kind of cut into that with the little hiccup. So we'll take a little quick 5-minute break, and then we'll be back to answer some questions. Thank you all. All right, and we're back. We're ready to answer your questions. I know there's been a ton in the chat. If people want to jump in there, maybe raise your hand, and then we can get some questions answered. And if you need to unmute, please do so. All right, so we'll back it up then. There's a lot of questions in the chat. So we'll start with what would be the earliest academy date? So for everybody that's applying now, it'll be September 22nd, and it will be that first academy, and then the following academy will be December 2022. Your SRA score is what will determine whether you're placed in the September or the December class. That goes from the eligibility list. Background will process all of our 90-band candidates first, and then applicants will be slated and given offers for that September class. As far as number of recruits per class, so in September is slated to have 70 recruits, Columbus recruits seated in it. And then the December class of 2022 is slated to have 50. Question about planned vacation. Yeah, unfortunately, the job would probably come before a vacation, so that would be up to you whether you decide to go on vacation and miss that start date and possibly defer to the next class. All right. Question is, if we get offered the job, does that mean we won't start working until September or December? Yes, that is correct. If I'm at work and have to get back to work, what else? Yeah, so this question, it says, if I'm at work and have to get back to work, would that disqualify me? No, this is just an informational session today. Hopefully you were able to get back to work. And then it says base pay does not include overtime or special duty assignments. That is correct. And it says, does tuition reimbursement apply if you already earned a bachelor's? So would it apply to previous education? So when it comes to tuition reimbursement, so you are eligible after you get off for probation. So that first year of service, once you complete that first year, you're eligible. If you already have your bachelor's, we have officers working on their master's and their PhD. So we go all the way up to a PhD. So it doesn't apply to, like, if you have student loans, they won't pay your student loans. But if you're looking to get new, a new degree or a new program, then we will do tuition reimbursement for that. We have a question from the audience. So if you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question, we are ready for you.
Yeah,
I think you remuted yourself.
so can you hear me now?
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, so I came in very late. So for me to join them, what was the first step? Do I have to correct any exam?
What are the first 3 parts of the exam?
Yes, like, do I have to write an entry exam before we can join the?
Yeah, yep. So once you sign up, you will get information on the civil service exam. You can actually go to our site. We had that information at the very beginning of the seminar. So you have it's a 3-phase test. You have a multiple choice, you have a written sample, and then you have the situational response assessment. So those are the 3 phases of the test that you have to do before you start going into your background.
Yeah, so actually I did that last year, but I failed. They didn't pick me. So I don't know. Is there any material I can study for me to?
So what part did you pass and what part did you fail on?
Well, I didn't even know. They didn't even tell me. They just told me that I didn't. They didn't pick me. So I didn't even know what I passed and what situation I didn't pass.
Okay, if you don't have any of that information, so what you have to do is sign up again, and then if you have questions about when your test date would be, you would contact us, or you can contact civil service, and they will make sure that you get your test date information.
All right, thank you.
And there is a study guide available right now, and you can find that on our site, or you can find it on the civil service site as well.
Yeah, I actually need that study guide.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So getting back to the questions that we have, it says the question was, after 48 months, you don't receive any pay raises till the 9-year mark. Is that a period in which you can apply for different roles, such as detective bureau? So you have built-in raises the entire time. So from your first year and it keeps going as you have built-in raises. So through that entire 48 months, you are getting an annual raise. And then after that 48-month mark, the next raise mark would be where you get that 9-year mark is where you would get that raise. Now, after 3 years of service, though, you can start signing up for supervisory exams. So those have a pay raise attached to it as well. Also, you can always, once you get that year of service under your belt, you can start applying for different jobs. Now, it does take a while to get to the detective bureau, because those are, premium positions, and people, go their whole careers looking to be in those type of positions. So it may take a while to get there, but you don't have to wait until that 9-year mark to start applying for detective bureau positions. All right, there was a question about requirements veterans have to do besides providing their DD-214. As of right now, we don't have any other requirements. DD-214s allow them to get veterans preference points on our exam, and we always like to make sure people have those available. Mr. Lee, you have a question? If you can unmute.
Yes. Do you know what are the?
Can you hear me?
Hold on, Miss Dillard. Hold on, just 1 second. Go ahead, Mr. Lee.
What are so we went over the fitness test. What are the requirements for the? Well, how many push-ups do you got to do? How many sit-ups you got to do? And what is the 1.5 time you got to have?
So we have that information on our page. It's all set there on our recruitment page. And then actually, I'm gonna have see if I can have one of my officers grab that real quick. All right, thank you. So the pre-Opata test. So if you're a male under 29 years old, to get into the police academy, you would have to do 32 sit-ups in a minute, 19 push-ups, and run a 1.5-mile run in 14 minutes and 34 seconds.
34, 1.5 miles in what?
14 minutes and 34 seconds.
Oh, Jesus, that's a long time. 14 minutes and 32 seconds. Okay.
Yep, and this is just the entry standard.
Okay.
So for females under 29, you would have to do 23 sit-ups in a minute, 9 push-ups, and run that 1.5 miles in under 17 minutes and 49 seconds. Now, the exit standard when you graduate the academy for males 29 and under, you have to do 40 sit-ups in a minute, 33 push-ups in a minute, and then run that 1.5 miles in under 11 minutes and 58 seconds.
Okay.
And for our women candidates under 29, sit-ups, 35 sit-ups in 1 minute, 18 push-ups in 1 minute, and then run that 1.5 miles in under 14 minutes and 7 seconds. So hopefully that answers that for you, Mr. Lee.
Definitely does. Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you. And then Ms. Dillard, I don't know if you're still there, but you were next.
Yes, I'm having a hard time hearing. I don't know, maybe it's just me. So I have to keep putting my phone to my ear. I've already been through the majority of the hiring process. My main question is I just had my board interview on the 9th, and I just haven't heard anything yet. So I guess I'm just a little nervous, maybe.
That's okay. Yeah. If you you can always call us and we can get with civil service to find out where you are in the process and just follow up with you. If you want to shoot us an email or give us a call on Monday, we can follow up with you just to kind of ease some of those concerns and then let you know exactly where you are.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate that. And also, I'm understanding that some of the requirements for the pre-Opata fitness has changed. So my age is 37.
Okay.
So I wonder, what is it, a new standard now or new?
Nope, it's still the same. I can tell you what that is. So for your age, it would be in that 30 to 39 range. You would have to do 18 sit-ups in a minute and 7 push-ups, and then run the 1.5 miles in under 18 minutes and 37 seconds. So that's still the same for the entry level standard. That hasn't changed. Far as exit level, and that's post academy, you have to do 27 sit-ups in a minute, 14 push-ups in a minute, and then run the 1.5 miles in under 14 minutes and 34 seconds. So none of that has changed, but just wanted to let you know what that is.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you say that again for the entry?
Yep.
Can you say those numbers again?
You looking for females in between 30 and 39?
Yes.
Yep. So again, it'll be 18 sit-ups in 1 minute, 7 push-ups in a minute, and then run the 1.5 miles in under 18 minutes and 37 seconds.
At the gym.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Cody, you were up next.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yep. Okay, hear you.
Yeah, my question is, do you guys offer anything where you do once a week where you can go and do some physical training with some of the officers? That way it gives us a little bit of one-on-one time with them to ask some personal questions and or to build that camaraderie to see if this career move is the right one for you. I'm more of an in-person kind of guy, and I'm wondering if you guys offer anything of that sort.
Well, we offer something like that as you get closer. So once you do get that final offer, we do something called Cot Fit, where you can come in, spend time with us as recruiters. And then sometimes we have other officers come in to join the workout. But until you get to that point, there's not a whole lot of fraternization. Also, when you do get in the academy, again, you're not allowed to fraternize with, people that are on the department while you're a recruit. So it obviously, there are people that you may know that are friends or family that are police officers. I recommend you lean on them, and also recruiters, we are here for you. So if you have questions about, whether you think the career is for you or, any concerns, please bring those to us, because that's part of our job. To help you answer those questions, and then also just to hear you out, and help learn about you as well. So we also offer a mentorship program, but again, that's once you get onto that final eligibility list. And once that does happen, then you're able to kind of have conversations with us recruiters, and then some of our satellite recruiters. So. And I will say this as well. So COVID has kind of done a number on our in-person one-on-one type of things, which is, obvious why we're having a a virtual seminar instead of an in-person one. So, but again, make sure you ask those questions, reach out when you do have them. Recruiters, we have enough of us to where we can give you a lot of different takes on the job. We have lots of experience in this unit. So, please don't hesitate to ask us that, okay?
All right, yes, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, Craig, do you have another question, or is that still the same hand up from last time?
The new hand.
Okay.
So if you were to go back and get a master's degree, is there anything that furthering your education can do for you in terms of how much you make or job opportunities within Columbus Police Department?
Well, to become a commander, I believe you need to have that bachelor's degree. But I know that master's degrees just makes you more competitive. It makes you more competitive when you go up to those ranks. I know from being in master programs, you take a lot of tests, you write a lot of papers, and those are the type of things that you potentially will be looking at doing when you get to that next rank. So I always say getting that education is always a good thing. Once you do have that as education, nobody can take that away from you. And then again, in my opinion, it makes you more competitive overall as a candidate because of that education.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. I saw there was another hand up from, I think it was Jada Stevenson, Stapleton. Are you still there?
Yeah, my question was answered. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. All right. So I'll get back to the chat messages. Okay. It says, how many people normally apply to take the police exam? It varies from year to year. On a normal year, it's close to 1,500 people. On heavy years, it's been as much as 2,600. And then on, when we don't have a hiring process, we've had it as low as like a little over 600. So it's very competitive. As you know, our wages are very good in comparison to what the cost of living here is. And so we do have lots of competition when it comes to hiring, but that is not to say that you can't do it. We encourage people from all walks of life to try to join us. And, we definitely want to see, everybody that wants to be a police officer, give it a shot, give it a shot. Somebody said, I'm graduating from OSU in May. When's the earliest? After May, I can start an academy. So again, we have our academy starting in September and December of 2022, this cycle. So you would actually have to apply now to get in one of those classes after you graduate. This one says, I am still 19 and just preparing for when the time comes to apply. I turned 21 in September of 2023. When should I apply, or when would I have the opportunity to apply? Would I have to wait till 2024? So that is one of the standards that changed for us. So you're 19. So whenever you turn 20, our open application period will not close. It doesn't close anymore. So you can always apply. Once you hit that 20 years of age mark, just go ahead and apply. If you have any questions while applying, just give us a call here in the recruiting office. Our phone number and email is listed here. Cody, is that a new hand or same one?
Yes, so I got just another question for you real quick. So I did ask a question in the chat about grooming standards. And then I looked it up and it said the 1/2 inch for facial hair. And I didn't see anything with the hair length. Do we need to be faded? Do we have to have 3 inches on the top and that's the max, or what can we do with that?
So that's something. You could call the office. We'll get into that. There is grooming standards, like off the ear, not past the nape of the neck. Those type of things. But those are more things you will have to worry about as you move toward the academy. I wouldn't worry about that right now.
I'm worried about it. Well, I'm not worried about it. It's just, I was in there for 8 years, and I know I always had to constantly, get my hair cut. So I've been growing it out as more of like I can finally do this kind of thing. I'm just wondering if I should start cutting my hair again or not.
Well, yeah, and I'll say I wouldn't until you get that, that final offer. I know it doesn't take long to get a haircut. And then also when you go to orientation, because our police academy does an orientation prior to you actually starting academy, they'll get all that type of stuff squared away for you. But again, there are grooming standards. Far as the specifics of that, it has changed a little bit, but we can get into that a little later. But yeah, I mean, if you want to start cutting it now just so you can get used to it, I would recommend that if that's something you want to do. But it is not mandatory until that time. All right. Thanks.
Definitely do it already, but I appreciate it, buddy.
No problem. Dan.
Thanks. Is there any additional training for the SRA except beyond those 1 or 2 scenarios, or what's the biggest difference between the 90 and the 80 categories?
Yeah, so the different scoring categories. So your 90 band is going to be like the higher scoring space, and then 80 is mid, and then 70 is just passing. So based on where you rank on passing those in that SRA, that's where you'll go. The only the samples that we have is what civil service has provided for us. We don't have any outside of that. So if you want any more information from civil service, we can provide you that phone number. And but those are the 2 samples that we have right now.
And also based on your band is when you get processed. So if you're 90 band and above, you'll get contacted through background, and then the 80 banders and then the 70 banders.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Another question. Do you get paid during the academy? Yes, you do. So when you start the academy, after 2 weeks, you will receive a check. So, and then every 2 weeks after that, you will receive payment.
Our next question is, when does our job application, is it open? It's open now, so definitely go out there and apply now. The cutoff is for March 7th for our September and our December class.
All right, Brandon, you have a question?
Yes, sir. So for out-of-state applicants, is there a certain time frame that we will have to be living in the city of Columbus?
I'm assuming it would be hopefully maybe a few weeks before your academy would start. You kind of want to be here before that happens. I would hope you would be here hopefully maybe a month or so before, just so you can kind of get a feel for where you're going in the city. I know we all have GPS, but if you're going to live here, you would kind of want to know the area a little bit. But that's a great question. Yeah, so this one, there's another question in chat. Is it possible to see older test results?
Yes, it is. You need to contact civil service, and they will give you a breakdown of the score of what you got on each portion of the test.
But they won't tell you what you messed up on as far as answers. So they can give you the scores. Most people, if you've not passed it, you already have those scores, but they can give you an additional breakdown, but they will not tell you exactly where you messed up. So, all right, Eunice, you got a question?
Yes, sir.
All right.
What does Columbus's pension look like? I don't know if I missed that in the HR video or not, but I was just wondering.
Yeah, so that's something we can talk about, a little later. We really, I'll be honest with you, I'm not as versed in the pension as I should be. I know we do offer one, It comes after, I think you can get a partial pension after 15 years of service, and then get a full pension after 25 years of service. So we don't have that detailed information, but I can get you to Ohio Police and Fire, and we can just make sure we email you that information. If you could shoot your email with that question to our jobs at columbuspolice.org, I'll make sure you get that information because I don't have it offhand.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Cody, you have another question?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. So I actually was a corrections officer a few months ago, and I had the opportunity to buy back my years of service in the military. Is that offered with the police officers or no? Like, am I able to do that?
I know you can do that with your military service. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm pretty sure unless you work for the city, they wouldn't allow you to do that. I know it is law enforcement, but I think it's like a city type situation. But again, that's something you could definitely ask our human resources. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told Eunice. If you could just email the question to jobs@columbuspolice.org, we'll get with HR and get followed up with you on that question.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. There's a question that says, I have tattoos on both hands and neck, religion-based and mother's initials. Will that be considered unacceptable? Tattoos are more than 12 years old. So as of right now, tattoos on hand and neck must be removed before graduating the academy. So, that would be a choice that's left up to you. But right now, that is our policy. If it's on hands, neck, you have to have it removed, not during the academy, but by the time you graduate. Next question, once you make it to the academy, does that mean as long as you pass, you will be sworn in? So yeah, once you get to the academy, you pass all your testing, state tests, physical tests, you will. And then you also have field training, officer period, and probation. So until you get off of probation, you are still in like a graded period. So, even if you graduate the academy, you still have, graded portions where you have to, keep working hard and, realize that you're still under the microscope. So, and then once you get off, there's still evaluation periods. No, they're not like terminatable, but you still, just want to give your best effort every day. Teron, you have a question?
Yes, I do have a question.
You gotta talk louder, can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit, if you can.
How do you hear me now? Is it more clear?
Yeah, but it sounds like you got an echo, but go ahead.
I would just ask, I heard a small said about the corrections. I'm running a correction officer, and I don't know what was said about it or how that would benefit me as I don't know, within the process.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, the question was, does your time in corrections, will it be able to, can you buy that time back for the division? Like if you have 5 years of service with corrections, would you be able to buy that time and add it to your time with Columbus Police? I don't think that's accurate. I think it only applies to like military time. But I told Cody, who had asked that question earlier, that if you email us at jobs@columbuspolice.org, we will get with HR, find out the answer, and then we will send that to them. If you want to do that as well, we can do that and get that sent out to you as well.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. I think in relation to the tattoos, they were talking about is it out of pocket or would a division compensate for removal costs? Not a problem either way. And then yeah, so the division won't pay for you to have your tattoos removed, but they do want that to happen. So when it comes to the ones on head, neck, and hands. So Brandon, you had a question?
Yes, I did. For I know you mentioned the military as far as credit. So say you're on orders, or say you get orders before the test day or during the academy. Well, now, will that hinder you from finishing the academy, or would you get rolled over to the next process for, will you have a slot ready for you for the next process if you was to try back again?
Yeah, so I haven't seen that too often to where you get orders during the academy. But pretty much like I know for sure if you get orders while you're a police officer, then you turn in your orders and then you go. And then when you come back, then you kind of deal with everything. Now, if you're going to be on a long-term leave, then I'm 100% sure that they'll want to push you to the next class because you still have to get all that state information. You still have to pass those tests, and then you still have to pass that state test at the end. And if you're not there, I don't think that would be fair to you serving our country, and then coming back, plugging you in wherever the rest of the class is, and then making you take the same test. So pretty sure you would just let our staff know, or the basic training staff know. They would let HR know, and you would probably be rolled over to the next class. Ahmed, do you have a question?
Yes. With the exam, say you don't pass. How? When can you do it again if you don't pass the exam test that you?
If you don't pass the one given this time, they will civil service will announce when the next test is, and then you will get another opportunity then. I'm assuming it will probably be this summer. We are probably looking to have another test set up then. So, but as of right now, we just know next month. Next month will be the test given for the signups now. And then civil service will give that date for the next time we will be offering exams. But people can still sign up to take that test in between that time before the civil service exam is announced.
Somebody asked whether or not is it required to be fully vaccinated to apply? No, you do not have to be fully vaccinated to apply.
Brandon, you have another question?
So with the vaccination, what if you just decide not to get the vaccination? Does that hinder your process as well, or?
No, we don't have any vaccination requirements at this time. It's just a mandate, masking up, but there's no vaccination requirements at all.
Somebody also asked about whether or not the videos that we showed in this seminar is going to be available. Like I said, we recorded everything. We will have that posted on our website so you can go back and review.
All right, somebody's asking about CopFit. Officer James answered that in there. It says you'll get an invite for CopFit once you receive your final offer to be in the Columbus Police Academy. And then somebody else asked about how far from the city of Columbus can you live? Again, Officer James answered that. He said, we do not have any restrictions on how close you have to live to the city. There are no residency requirements here. Another question about how long it would take to become a helicopter pilot through the city of Columbus. So that process is expedited if you have your own private pilot's license and experience. But typically, as Officer Beal said, it does take 20+ years to become a helicopter pilot. It is one of those specialty units, and you must have the seniority along with the skill set to do that. Ride-alongs. So right now, ride-alongs are still shut down. When that does come back, we will put it out on our social media, and then we'll also send an email to potential candidates. Hopefully that happens sometime soon. Which one? This one. Somebody asked how much the starting pay is for the academy right now, and your starting pay right now is $32.37 per hour. Someone asked about swimming. Swimming is not mandatory. We do a little bit of it, but it is not a mandatory thing.
Hood, do you still have another question, or is that just an old?
I think that's it. Yep. You have a question? Okay. All right. Thank you. Somebody asked, what areas of crime does Columbus see a prevalence in, if any particular? You know, there's crime everywhere in our city. There isn't a specific area. There's some where there's more uptick, but it varies. Actually, it varies day to day. So I mean, we get called everywhere. So there's no area where you're just gonna go and that you won't get busy. So our entire city is it needs us. So somebody asked what's the difference between Cope and SRA. So we did an audit, and you know, the Cope was good, but the SRA is a very detailed look at getting a situational response and then providing an assessment for it. So it's similar, but there are you know, differences, and you can see that if you've seen the old Cope you know, videos and the responses, they are different from the videos and responses in the SRA. Somebody asked, am I allowed to apply to multiple police departments? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you can apply wherever you want. You know, obviously we would love to see you here, but we encourage people to apply where they feel comfortable. It says, just to be clear, no June class. So there is a June class, but it's the people coming in that June class will be people who tested last summer. So those are the people that will be in the June class. Question is, how do I find the guide to the written exam and maps? If you go to our website, you can get the study guide. It's actually currently listed under the past session section. That section will soon be changed to informational section, but right now it's under past, and that's where you can go to get all this study material for your upcoming exam. Next question for current college students, how close to graduation should we submit our application? I would say, you know, submit it when we're open and you know when that testing is. If you know you're going to graduate in May, like a previous question, you would apply now. If you're looking to graduate in like October, you would still apply now, and you would just you know, hope to get in that December class. So I would always say apply, you know, probably within that last year of college, because you'll be getting that degree and then you'll be looking for a job. And if you already have that test set up and you know when that academy is going to be, then that'll be helpful to you. Question is, does recruiting help with early prep for upcoming exams and testing? Also, what are the passing scores for the first two phases? So we are going to offer a joint informational session with civil service coming soon. We'll put those dates out and get that out to you as soon as those become available. And then passing scores on the first 2 phases is just pass fail. It's all pass fail. So, you know, there's no real number score. Essentially, actually, it's actually like 70%, but that would be graded on a pass fail. SRA is out of 100, with that passing score being a 70. All right. So another question asked for grooming, is there a beard policy? Cody was looking at it earlier, but we do now allow beards, but they do have to be groomed. We can send you that information, or you can actually look it up on our website right now. Somebody asked what we can expect during the FTO phase and probationary period. So that type of question I'll leave to orientation and the academy, because we're not there yet. We're just not there yet. And you know, it's really spending time with a veteran officer, and then you know, working by yourself in a nutshell. But those are things that, you know, you want to talk about more once you get into the academy and start getting toward the completion of the academy. Somebody asked, what is the maximum age to be a police officer? There is no cap. As long as you can do the physical fitness standards and pass all the testing, you'll be good to go. So kind of a detailed question. I'm an African-American male from the inner city of Columbus. Unlike most applicants, I've endured and experienced a more complicated personal background. Well, background investigators consider circumstances attached to applicants' background. Where I'm from, people don't root for you to become a police officer, but I'm very interested. That's a great question. I have a similar background. There's several officers that have similar backgrounds based on where you come from. But again, it's subjective. They're not looking at you as, you know, coming from, you know, a certain situation. They're looking at your background. Have you kept your no criminal history, or are you, you know, do you have domestic situations, or, you know, that's the type of stuff we're looking at. They're not looking at, oh, you lived in this side of town, so we're not going to consider you. That would actually be illegal, and we don't do that. So I'm glad you asked that question, but yeah, it's a fair process, and they don't you know, they don't look at that type of situation, but they will look at your criminal history if you have any drug use or anything like that. So great question though. And somebody, again, continuing on that, the age limit, again, even in your 50s. Yeah, so recently we've had a male candidate who was 55 graduated, and then a female candidate who was 51. She recently graduated as well. So age is nothing but a number as long as you are, you know, working hard. What's the graduation rate for cadets in the academy? Don't have that information yet, but I know that we have. Yeah, we have three
currently in the class right now.
3 currently in the class, and then I think we have maybe 4 on the street.
On the street.
Yeah. Yep. So 3 in the class, 4 on the street right now. So so another question, if somebody already has their master's degree, can that person not take the writing and reading test? Nope. So even if you have your master's degree, you still have to take the same tests everybody else has to. So I'm giving information on the practice test and exam. Yep, you have to take all the parts of the test. We do offer, so this says any kind of help for people with English as a second language. So we do offer more time. If you want detailed information on that, you can contact our civil service. Their number is 614-645-48. I'm sorry, 614-645-0800. And they can, get you that information on the additional time that you will receive for people with English as a second language.
Right, it's a form that you guys will have to sign and then submit for them to give you the extra additional time for the test.
Yeah. Somebody asked, is there some form of training plan that you provide? Yeah, so yeah, all that training information is in the study guide, and the physical stuff is on the website. We showed the Opata testing that you had to do here today. They asked for preparation for the SRA. Today, again, we gave those samples, examples of what you can expect. Question is, if someone already has a master's degree before becoming an officer, can that help to have higher income than somebody who does not have any education? Not at this time. So again, everybody will start out at an even plane and go from there. The question is, how often do 70 banders get accepted since the process is so competitive? And it actually, we do accept 70 banders. There's several that are going to be a part of this June 22 class. And then, so as long as you are in there and you keep working hard, there's actually a chance that you can get into the class. Looks like a lot of questions have been answered by our officers. So unless we have any more questions, we're gonna probably wrap it up here. Again, if you have not applied yet, please remember to apply today. It is there right there on your screen, www.columbus.gov/jobs-CPD-CFD. And again, if you have any questions for us, we'll be available. You can call us 614-645-4642 or email us at jobs@columbuspolice.org. We would like to thank you for your time. I'd like to thank everybody who was instrumental in helping us put this together. Every part of the process, civil service, our mayor, our city council president, Director Clark, and of course, Chief Bryant. I'd also like to thank our chain of command, including First Assistant Chief Potts, Deputy Chief Knight, Commander Convis, Lieutenant Hassan, and then of course, all my staff and my co-sergeant, Sergeant Ally. So it looks like I got one more question, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Ahmed, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask about this Zoom session was recorded. Do we have a place where we can review it back later on? Or?
Yes, so we will get this recording to our webmaster, and then we will get it placed on our website under the job seminar tab, and then you will be able to review it. All right. All right, awesome. Okay, well, again, thank you all for your time, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.